You're looking at the best compact SUV on the market today. XC60 Volvo. It's the T8, which means it's 455 horsepower. All-wheel drive, air suspension, only $74,000. This is the best compact SUV on the market. It's not the Polestar version that they made back in 2020, but this is the 2024 Black Edition. You can tell that because everything's blacked out. The window trim, the badges, the black wheels. This is the shit. Or is it? First off, when you see this speaker grill, it's the Bowers & Wilkins system. Only a $3,500 option. Look at these seats. Heated, cooled, and massage. Volvo makes the best seats in the industry. BMW is a close second. Now the beauty of this car is it's a 455 horsepower all-wheel drive hybrid. The motor in the front powers the front wheels. The electric motor in the rear powers the rear wheels. I have it on the settings screen here, but when you turn the vehicle on, oh yeah, it's a hybrid. This is a no bullshit, no nonsense, absolutely driver-focused car. The cockpit is just the right size. If you look at this instrument cluster, you'll see the wiper icon. All you do is push this button here, and it remembers the setting that the auto wipers will be on and off automatically every time you get in the car. It does that with the heated seats. Obviously, you don't need that with the stop-start because you'll never notice this thing starting and stopping the engine. It just hums along. So, I'm not a real big fan of EVs, but this is considered an EV according to the federal government, so you do get the tax credit on this. You can see here I have 0 mile of battery range, but 80 miles of fuel range. This is my fuel economy for the 0.8 miles I took to get here. You can ignore that. You can get 55 miles per gallon. You can get 17 miles per gallon in here. It doesn't really matter. All I know is you can haul ass. So, first things first, we put it in reverse. We see our camera. We have a 360 camera as well. That I'll show you in a second. We have all the radar sensors and everything as well. Put this in drive. Put it down once. If you put it a second time, you end up in like a regen braking mode, which is very aggressive. Now you see here the drive mode automatically is hybrid. Power lowers the vehicle and kicks on the engine and gives you the full 455 horses. Battery usage, we can actually charge the battery, and that actually consumes fuel. But if you're driving from here, let's just say to Waco, and you want to drive on EV mode in Waco for some reason, you can have a charged battery by the time you get there. There's always start in mode pure, that's the EV mode, but we don't have to because we're in hybrid, so it's going to handle it all by itself. There's no messing around in this car, okay? There's no as opposed to that Lexus RX hybrid that I drove recently, which I haven't published yet, which is the same price as this car. This has no gimmicks. This is zero bullshit. This is amazing. Now, some of you may say that 2020 was the peak for this car because, just waiting for him to make that turn, and then this car's coming. In 2020, I had a Volvo XC60 T8, which was amazing. Then I got an S90 T6, which is a supercharged turbocharged. So they've changed the engines a little bit. They went from a supercharged turbocharged to actually just turbo, and they went from a T5 and T6 to a B5 and B6, which were just the turbo versions, and then they kept the T8. So this is the T8, and I don't think it's supercharged anymore, but it's still turbo. And the whole thing sounds complicated, but all I know is you don't have to worry about it. Lexus has a V6 hybrid for $74,000, and it's frumpy, it's Ozempic and Botox, love child, bastard child of a vehicle, and it should stop They just need to stop making it. Here in the Volvo, however, this is what you need to be driving, okay? So the downfall to this car is that they've changed the central station, the central system here from Volvo Sensus to Google Auto. So this isn't your phone, this is actually Google Android Auto running in the car, which means you don't get Google Auto or Android Auto when you plug your phone. Well, maybe when you... No, you don't. You don't get Android Auto, but for some reason you do get Apple CarPlay. So it's kind of confusing. If you have an Android phone, you're kind of at a disservice. Volvo didn't do that back in 2020, 2021. Volvo had a much better system. So this is the only thing I dislike about this Volvo. Other than that, it's perfect. And to sum it up, one thing you should note is that in 2022, plenty of power here. That's in hybrid mode. In 2022, what they did was they added a speed limiter worldwide. They govern all Volvos to 112 miles an hour. So this thing, even with 455 horsepower, won't get past that. But this thing is a wolf in sheep's clothing, because if I go here and I put it in power mode and we keep it on auto, right, and I keep this in drive, right, so it says D there, and I put my foot down, the power is incredible. So this thing is like a killer robot, wolf in sheep's clothing kind of vehicle. I don't know what to say other than you know, it basically is the only vehicle you should get. And when you're looking at hybrid SUVs, you got to drive this one first, and then you got to compare it to everything else. That's the best way I can describe it. The Bowers & Wilkins system is the best in the industry. The seats are the best in the industry. And here's the massage options here for you. Look at that. I've got combined, I have wave, I have tread. It feels amazing. I feel like I'm actually in one of those $10,000 massage chairs, obviously with the exception of getting my legs massaged. The map itself is pretty nice. It's Google Maps. Oh, I don't have time to let that load. Anyway, you can get Google Earth, so you get a satellite view. I mean, what does this not do? It doesn't have any wireless charging, right? So you just have cup holders and a little thing for your lipstick. I don't know what that's for. So there's really nowhere to put your phone. There's no wireless pad for your phone. In here, the storage is a little limited, so it's kind of defeated by its limited storage capacity. But then again, like, it is a no bullshit car. It does not fuck around. I love it. Here's the 360 camera. It comes on automatically. I don't know why this isn't the option when you're in reverse, but you can focus on each camera specifically. So here I am pulling up to a curb, and then it changes actually to the backup camera because I'm in reverse. I don't know if I could change it. Yep, here we go. So very high def, very clear. And then park is just park. And then I have a bunch of other settings in here as well. If I go to driving, you can see pilot assist, so it'll do self-driving, not full autonomous like a Tesla, but it's actually, Volvo is actually very well known for its safety systems and its self-driving capability. Lane keeping, road sign, blah blah blah, creep. What I noticed, okay, I drove one of these 2 years ago, and it was one of the only two vehicles I ever got a press vehicle I ever got a speeding ticket in. This thing used to have one pedal driving, and now I don't see it again. So there used to be, maybe if you turn off creep, I think that's what it is. You get one pedal driving. So that means if you put it in B, so it says reverse neutral drive, but if you go into drive like this, okay, then you see that B there. There you go. Now what happens is, okay, I've got creep on. If I take creep off, now it won't move forward. And if I push it forward, yep, it comes to a stop again. Not a full stop, but still, yeah, and now it won't creep in reverse either. So you have a couple different driving style options in here. What they've done though is they've simplified this entertainment system because for some reason they decide Consumer Reports is like the people worth listening to. I think Consumer Reports is garbage. So they've gotten rid of like the side screen and gotten rid of this whole iPad thing with all these different options. And they've made it like, okay, we've got our little tiles, right, for our apps. And I don't know why we have YouTube in here, but you can watch YouTube. It sounds great, by the way, on this stereo. Obviously, you can't watch YouTube while you're driving. And let's see if I put this on here. I don't even know what it's going to show. Ah, there we go. Some Savage Geese. Very nice. I don't know what this crap is. But essentially, you know, you can watch a video in here. So it'll just play it. Sounds great, doesn't it? These guys are awesome. So, is there a full screen? Yeah. Now, if I put it in drive, yeah, let's go forward. Yeah, it cuts it off. You can't even listen to it. Yeah. Interesting, huh? So now we're in hybrid mode, and it's automatically turned the engine on when you... This is not really a tachometer, it's more of like a power band. But when you get past that little, hold on, there you go. When you get past that little oil drop there, that means the engine's gonna kick in. Otherwise, if you're below the oil drop, and that's based on the battery, but I haven't been charging this. I have driven it an entire week, and it goes back and forth between electric and gas mode, and it manages the battery, even when you're not plugging and charging it in. So that's a good thing. You know, from my perspective, this is the best way to go. Like, you've got the fuel economy of a hybrid, you've got the power of a sports hybrid, and then you have, of course, the fuel efficiency and the power. Oh, and then you can drive it like an EV, but you don't have to live like it's an EV. You are not a slave to the plug. And obviously you could fill it up with fuel and keep going, and that's the best part. When you're in a place like Texas and you're going to go from Dallas to Houston or something, you don't have to stop and charge. You could refuel and keep going. So your trips are much shorter, and you have 455 horsepower at your disposal, so you can pass and do all that stuff. So it's definitely worth it. So that's it. I'm going to leave it here. Look at the Volvo first. If you don't, you're a freaking idiot. You're probably just an NPC anyway. And if you are an NPC, go get a Lexus RX. Just know that panoramic roof. The only weird thing in this car is actually the control here. This is like a roof china. I don't know what you would call that, but you have to like rub it the right way for it to do these things. Like if I wanted to open it, right? Like, there we go. Ready? You have to rub it. I don't understand that at all. There we go. Ugh. Yeah, I mean, it's not the way I would do it, but who designed that? Anyway, nothing wrong with it. It's just, it's a little dry. Anyway, thanks for watching. Power trunk, yeah, $74,000. Totally worth it though. And drive one, and nothing else will be as good as this. Stitch dash, right? The aluminum trim, and this is the only black shiny plastic in here. It's not really that bad, but the massage seats are amazing. Lexus didn't offer that. And this thing is so focused and oriented to the driver and the driving experience. Oh, and the air suspension too. So what I'm going to do is shut this off, open the door, get out, and then you're going to watch it lower. So if you open the door after you shut it off, it'll wait to lower, which is weird because it's a convenience thing, which makes no sense. It's supposed to, what do they call it? I think it was called, under driving, it was called air suspension control for easy entry and exit. Normally I would think the car would be higher to get in and out easier, but what this does is it lowers it to get in and out easier. So that's just a little odd. And then of course we have the creep function, and then steering wheel firm. I never noticed that. So these settings are all in one spot now, whereas before there used to be like buttons and you could select different things and you could see all of it at once. I'm not really a fan of lists, but that's what we get. And then of course we have the home button, which you only press once to get back to where you were. And that's trying to simplify your life, I guess. Anyway, to turn it on and off, we just turn this knob. What I'm gonna do is open this thing up, and then you'll see it lower. There we go. Here's the interesting thing too. You can raise and lower it from back here. But we have the plug, because it's a plug-in hybrid. Look at that. That's the air tanks. Those are the air tanks. That's an air tank, and that is an air tank for the air suspension. That's the battery. So there's no spare, but it does have a jack and a pump with the fix-a-flat. So this thing is totally equipped. Pretty nice. Yep. Thanks for watching.